Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Reed Option, and today I'll be commentating the Oklahoma City Tornadoes and Memphis Liberty matchup. Looks like all four analysts favor the Liberty, while they technically have a slightly less percentage of a chance to win this thing. 49%, 51%, pretty evenly split. Obviously, the home team is favored here this afternoon. Jumping into this thing, both of these teams are coming off of a loss last week, and then both had wins the week prior. So 1-1 in the past 2 weeks. Both are 4-3 on the season. Memphis at the top of the Southeast Division. Oklahoma City in the middle of the pack of the Central Division. Crucial win for both of these teams as we are in the late window of the season. Only 3 weeks, including this week, to go to determine who is even in the playoffs, who has a chance to make it to the championship. Let's see which of these teams brings more to the table today, as Jalen Weathers and company come out onto the field for the Memphis Liberty. Weathers snaps it, hands it off to Austin for a 4-yard gain. Not often that you see Austin taking a handoff. This is the fourth best passing offense, with Weathers having the fourth most yards. 10th best rushing offense. Marquise Collins in the top 10 in rushing yardage, but also is in the top 3 in yards after catch. So he's a big threat in the receiving game as well. Dual threat running back in the backfield, and he gets his first handoff of the game on 2nd and 6, gaining 2 on the play. Jesse Lane getting subbed in, stopped by Tony Pickett. Pickett, a former Brooklyn Bandit. Lane with his first carry. Flag on the play, no gain. Looks like Raheem Dobson with a hold, but they will decline that penalty. Great stop by Tyrell Augustine. 2 outside linebackers making 2 huge stops for the past 2 plays, forcing the Liberty to go 3 and out. An injury-less Oklahoma City team stopping a pretty injury-riddled Memphis team. 2 offensive line missing, Solomon Thompson and Sam Webb, and their fullback Josh Lemmer is missing. Adrian Austin filling in for that role. The former Sacramento Capital and the former Iowa Storm player taking reps for the Liberty. Enough about the Liberty. Here comes Oklahoma City just outside of midfield. First handoff to Kenny Matlock. And if you think that name is familiar, even if you're a Memphis Liberty fan, it's because he started off on the Memphis Liberty, got traded to the Raleigh Royals for Collins in a little bit of pick exchange, and then now he's on the Oklahoma City Tornadoes. So this is a revenge game for Kenny Matlock. Things are personal. Brandon Gilligan under center, play action, throwing it away on 2nd down. Potential 3 and out situation here for the ownerless Oklahoma City Tornadoes. Memphis, of course, has their owner, Nick, who had an interview conducted with the NAGA media team this past week, and I'll get to some of those questions as they become relevant. Matlock with the handoff. He is stopped on 3rd down. Great stop by the defense. DeMarquez Clark, Offensive Rookie of the Year last season. Could have gotten a rep, but too little, too late. Maybe we'll see more of him later. And the punt returner will let it bounce. Touchback. Yes, Nick was asked about his loss last week, how he maintains a locker room after such a heartbreaking loss. His response was the best way to maintain that locker room after a loss would be to just focus on the next week. Use the mistakes made in that game and focus on those to not do so again. We gave up way too many huge plays that cost us the game. And our team will strive to not have that happen again. So far, no huge plays let up, but it is still early. 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter. 2 3-and-outs from both teams. 3-and-out, 3-and-out. Weathers, potential dish off to Collins, but it was in and out of the hands of the defender there. This Oklahoma City defense, the 8th best in the league, really well-rounded, only letting up 370 total yards per game. Faring pretty well so far, but Torrey Wade will be the first to get some real positive yardage. 27-yard gain there. Believed he was stopped by Deontay Battle. New set of downs. The pitch to Collins. Collins breaking some tackles. Gaining 10 and the first. It's like he was finally brought down by Jordan Ragsdale. A little too late. Jesse Lane now coming in once again. Both of these teams playing really rough. Got some chips on their shoulder. Making some playoff pushes here late. Big bomb to the end zone. Wade, touchdown. And that is why Jalen Weathers is an MVP candidate. I tell you what. Putting 6 on the board. Weathers has, let's see, with that touchdown, 13 touchdowns on the season with only 4 interceptions to show. Over 1,800 yards. He is 3rd in the league before this week. I mean, the only guys ahead of him are Jake Britton and Paul Wagner. So, if you saw any of the games this week, Jake Britton playing, of course, later today, as well as Paul Wagner. I don't know where I was going with that. I guess we'll see how they do. So they'll probably watch this game and base their performance off of today. Really see how much they have to try to maintain their quarterback of the year stances. Gilligan, little dump off to Matlock. Matlock shedding some tackles of his former teammates. Getting stopped after a gain of 1. Vince Kelly on the tackle. Gilligan now 1 for 2 after that reception. Deciding to hand it off this time. Matlock, again, the go-to. Gain of 6 yards. And after yet another tackle by Vince Kelly, we'll have a little substitution in the linebacker core for Memphis. DeMarquis Clark now in the backfield to the right of Gilligan. He's running up the middle. Little pitch to the fullback, incomplete. Like some miscommunication there. Matthew Vogt, the former few teams, Virginia Beach Mariners being the team he started on. And we'll have another punt from the Tornadoes. Kaloje and Pinkerton will return it to the 32-yard line. You're Oklahoma City, you really need to make a big stop. Force a turnover. Little fumble 6 or something. You cannot let Memphis score on this drive. Marquise Collins hearing me and saying, I'll take you up on that challenge. 12 yards and a first down. Weathers now in shotgun. Motioning Banks. Weathers heaving it deep. Looked like that was intended for... It was not Brendan Baker. It was Andrew Moore. Appalachian State alumnus. Starting tight end, 0 for 1 on his targets. Weathers pitching it to Collins. Collins only gaining 3, speared at the 47-yard line. 3rd down, and this is a huge 3rd down stop if Oklahoma City can come up with it. Weathers the handoff to Collins. Collins stopped. No 1st down. And the Tornadoes are poised to get the ball back. Great stop once again by Tony Pickett. Cashman on the punt. Looks like he was trying to get a little corner punt there. Couldn't down him on the 1. They'll take it from the 20. No return for J.R. Lisenby this time around. Gilligan dropping back to pass, throwing straight down the middle to Matt Locke, who was wide open. Nobody on him. 1st down after a gain of 11. Tackle made by Vince Kelly. A lot of linebacker action today that tells you where the ball ends up most of these plays. 2 tight ends set. Matt Locke in the backfield. Gilligan. Little toss across the middle. Fumbled. Scooped up by Drysdale. Scary situation there. Adrian Turner got popped. Had to be quickly picked up by Kevin Drysdale, the Utah State left tackle. Dot throw. Tayshaun Richardson, the man to grab it. 27-yard gain on the play. The former Orlando Flame. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong guy. That's DeAndre Knight, his teammate. The former Omaha Spartan is Tayshaun Richardson. Little screen pass to Matt Locke following the huge 1st down. No gain on the play. Vince Kelly making all the stops today. Trade deadline was a few weeks ago, and both of these teams have made moves in the past, but Oklahoma City didn't make any major moves. Memphis made some moves on the offensive side of things as well as the defensive side in hopes for better chances at a championship push. They fell short last season, losing to Virginia Beach in the playoffs. They were an underdog team heading into it. This year looking more like some favorites. Huge 3rd down stop from the aforementioned favorites. Looking like a 48-yard field goal attempt from former Columbus Senator Joey Visconti. And it is up, straight through the uprights. It is good. 48-yard field goal. Keeping it a 1-score game still, but getting just a little closer. Taking this game back. And Visconti will punt it off to Corey Wade. Wade making his way up to the 30. Top 3 receivers on this receiving core, actually. Yeah, top 3 receivers on this receiving core are from other teams. The main star, Torrey Wade, is from Raleigh. Ahmad Banks from Sacramento. And Brendan Baker from Iowa and then Virginia Beach. Really constructed this offense. Marquise Collins obviously also being from Raleigh. Jesse Lane, an offseason acquisition from Albuquerque. He was a free agent there. And 4th string running back Dwayne Copeland from Virginia Beach. Weathers taking it for himself this time. Rattling off some members of the Memphis offensive squad. Weathers says, I don't need any of them this time around. I'm taking it for myself. Got to be careful he doesn't get hurt. They have veteran out of Pittsburgh, Mike Joyce, behind him if need be. Weathers will hand it off on 3rd down to Collins, and he will get that 1st down. move the chains, continue the drive. If I'm not mistaken, that stop was made by Sean Towers. Hand off to Lane, breaking a tackle in the backfield. Stopped by Darian Tompkins after a gain of 1. Second down, getting close to the end of the first quarter. Collins taken probably his 10th carry of the day. Gain of 3. 5 rushes, 14 yards, and that will be the end of the first. Memphis up 7-3 at home in this Week 8 matchup. Getting to another interview question with Nick. Jalen Weathers was mentioned as being the 3rd in passing stats. Marquise Collins 5th in rushing stats. Ahmad Banks, top 15 wide receiver. Nick was asked if all of these guys being top-notch due to a switch in offensive philosophy over the offseason, or is it simply the players being the players, getting used to the scheme and them just being better? And Nick's response was that it was a mix of both. He has history of being known to make a big trade from time to time. He believes that it's paying off. He's getting the right pieces for his scheme. And the offense is now extremely dynamic, being able to use 2 great running backs, a handful of great receiving options, trusting in his guys like Torrey Wade and Ahmad Banks. So, kind of flexing there, the owner Nick, with his various weapons. Unfortunately, his various weapons couldn't get a first down, and they were forced to punt it. Touchback, and Matlock makes it up past the 30, 13-yard gain on that rush. Matlock really showing out in his revenge game here. This Oklahoma City Tornadoes team also was pretty constructed. They, Matlock obviously being from Memphis, then Raleigh. DeMarquez Clark being drafted by Salt Lake City and then making his way to this roster. Kasim Garvin, initially from Virginia Beach. Got a few receivers from other teams, Omaha and Orlando, just to name a few places. Clark, former Rookie of the Year, taking a snap up the middle, gaining 6 on the play. Impressive run. Look how fast that kid is. The youth in this backfield with Clark and Robert Hudson. It is very promising for this franchise's future. Gilligan, a Oklahoma City permanent member. He's never been on any other team. Rolling out, making some huge plays. What a throw between 54 and 3 on the defense. Who are those guys that he worked that ball between? It looked like that was Vince Kelly and Adrian Atkins. What an impressive threading of the needle by Brandon Gilligan. I'm over here glazing this guy, and he makes a very impressive throw to justify the glazing. Handoff to DeMarquez Clark, and this offense is clicking. Clark, 2 rushes for 15 yards, and it doesn't look like he's going to stop. He's staying in the rotation, though OKC is in shotgun formation right now. Motioning the receiver to the left, looking like he's going to block. Clark with some freedom there, gaining 17 yards. Kasim Garvin working his way into the rotation after that tackle. I mean, it would have been a touchdown had that guy not been there. Not sure who that was on the stop. Hand off to Matlock this time, stiff-arming a man. I think that was Kendarius Holiday on the stop last time. Jalen Pinkerton on the stop this time around. Kasim Garvin about to take a handoff. First of the day for him. Single back formation. Up the left is Kasim Garvin. Gain of 3. Impressive for the 4th year back. How many rushing stats? How much does Garvin have? this year. Not a single thing. Garvin has not been handed off to once this season. That is his first time. DeMarquez Clark taking the ball now. Touchdown, Oklahoma City, courtesy of DeMarquez Clark. And they will now take the lead midway through the second quarter. DeMarquez Clark, 4 rushes for 39. That's all he needed. About 10 yards per carry and a touchdown. And Visconti will send through the extra point. Impressive gameplay here from the Tornadoes. After what was looking like a scary start, Memphis up 7-0, having the ball again. Oklahoma City was able to make a stop, get a field goal, make another stop, get a touchdown. Corey Wade taking the return to see how Memphis retaliates and make it right up to the 20. Weathers in shotgun, motioning Collins to the right, now alone in the backfield, under pressure, dishing it out to Collins on the right side. And he will gain 8 on the play. Tackled by Deontay Battle. Battle finding himself in all the offensive battles here. Making all the stops, handoff to Collins. Collins breaking through. 15-yard gain this time for Collins. 23 yards combined on the past 2 plays for Marquise Collins. Another MVP front runner. I mean, this entire Memphis Liberty offense being the 4th most productive, you know, you're bound to have a few guys in the conversation for MVP. Jesse Lane, not an MVP front runner, but a great asset to this offense, gaining 4 on the play. Him and BJ Austin made the Pacific Conference a living hell for anybody who faced Albuquerque, and they have been sorely missing him this season. Weathers, deep ball to the left. Torrey Wade once again with a huge grab, 33-yard gain. And Wade is looking to have a huge game today already in this first quarter, at least 100 yards receiving. Lone man on the left is Wade, one-on-one with Tyrus Lane. Cutting across the middle, and he will find somebody else in the end zone. Brendan Baker! Touchdown! The former Mariner getting the touchdown against the team that just beat the Mariners 2 weeks ago. His first catch, his first touchdown of the game. And the extra point is good. Casey Bueller with the extra point. As Brendan Baker's 2nd touchdown of the season. Over 400 receiving yards. He's in the upper percentile of receivers. Obviously being, you know, on the Memphis Liberty, that'll do that to you. Jamal Edwards with a great return up to the 23. Getting those hidden yardage numbers, as Cole likes to say. Going back, by the way, Kasim Garvin, that was his first handoff, but it was not his first touch of the ball. He caught a ball for 15 yards in week 6. Week 6. Gain of 2 on that pass play. Matlock with over 69 yards, all 5 catches on his targets. 7 carries, and make that 8 carries. Spin move out of that tackle. Extend for a gain of 6. And the back who got the touchdown last drive, DeMarquez Clark, looking to come in and punch this one through for a first down. Let's see if they can convert here on 3rd down and 2. Handoff up the middle to the right. Stop just shy. Did he get it? No, he didn't. Stopped by none other than Vince Kelly. And Memphis with the lead and less than half of the second quarter left. is about to get the ball again. Pinkerton with the punt return. Tackled by... Was that DeMarcus Clark? No, that's Jamal Edwards. My bad. They don't typically have running backs as the gunners for their punt returns. Weathers under center. I formation on their own 28-yard line. They might try to burn this game out. Collins up the left side, gaining 9 yards. Tyrus Lane on the stop. The UCF alumnus. Collins equally as impressive as Matlock, honestly. 70-plus yards of scrimmage yards, and add 8 to that. First down, Marquise Collins. No hurry-up offense here, just taking their time, chipping away. All he needs is a field goal to stay up by a touchdown. 2 receivers on the left, looking like a dangerous scenario, as I imagine he's going to target one of those guys. He will. It's Wade. First down, gain of 13 on the play. None other than Tyrus Lane on the stop again. He's running all over the place for this Oklahoma City defense. Wade 116 yards on 4 catches. Insane. Definitely a deep threat. That is a Randy Moss looking stat line. Sorry, yawning there. I didn't get my coffee today. Yes, I know it's the afternoon, but still affects me. Austin, impressive fullback dive up the middle. Great gain of 8 on the play. No timeouts called from either side. Austin, the blocker for Collins, he'll get stopped in the backfield. Face mask against the defense, and that is a free first down. Memphis says thank you very much. The owner, Nick, is probably jumping for joy right now, as this makes it look more like a touchdown situation as opposed to a field goal situation. I'm knocking on wood for you. I'm not trying to jinx it. Weathers a dot to the end zone. In and out of the hands of Brendan Baker, the man who got the touchdown last drive. Weathers looking to have 3 touchdowns on the day. Trying to catch up to Mr. Joseph Abatangelo, who currently leads the league in touchdown throws in 1 less game than everyone else. So Weathers has some agenda today. Towards the end zone again, this time intended for Wade, the man who got the first touchdown. So he's really targeting his, touchdown getters. Getting the guys that produce. Looks like they're going to try to waste an Oklahoma City timeout and settle for a field goal here. I formation makes it seem as such. Austin going to the right, likely to block. It'll be a pass play against all odds for the end zone. Double coverage on Torrey Wade, and they said they don't care about the clock. Just give us the 3 points and trust the defense. Weather's now about, over 50%, 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not a bad stat line at all. Casey Bueller, 35-yard field goal is good. Oklahoma City is a promising team who is ownerless. If you are watching this right now, you are a fan of the NAGA, or you're just now discovering us, please subscribe, join our Discord, join the Axis Football Discord as well while you're at it. That is the wonderful game that this sim league is powered by. And, put in an owner form to take over the Oklahoma City Tornadoes. They are making a playoff push. If they come out on top today, they will be second in their division, guaranteed, probably in the running for first, given the final 2 weeks of the season are divisional games. Gilligan, deep ball, swatted down, intended for Adrian Turner. Looks like that was defended by Raheem Nolan. That's gotta be Cap. There's no way. I don't know who was on that defense. Nolan is like 6th in line in the corners. I don't know what number that was. We'll see. It looked like number 7, so I said Nolan. All right, little toss to Matlock. Matlock fighting and fighting. Memphis burning a timeout there. Going 3 and out is not what you want to do. They weren't given good starting position at their 16-yard line. But Kaloje going to need to boot this one far. They don't want Memphis to be up by 2 scores at the half. Kind of candy-legged it there. Come on, Kaloje. Pinkerton, plenty of room to run. Makes his, stretch past midfield. Enemy 44. 2 timeouts to burn. And Oklahoma City is starting to hear some boss music. Weather's dropping back. Plenty of time. Wade hurdles a man. Stopped by J.R. Lisenby, and Memphis will burn their second timeout. 45 seconds to go. Just outside the red zone. This is a guaranteed field goal if you don't turn it over. Again, Nick, I am knocking on wood for you. Weathers almost picked off. He threaded the needle there. Wade wasting a lot of time to gain not a lot of yards. Memphis burning their third timeout as Theo Finch works his way into the upper wide receiver rotation. Finch, Banks, Collins, Austin, Moore. Interesting lineup we have. Touchdown, Theo Finch! His first play in the game. The Forsyth, Georgia native. First catch, first target, first touchdown. Looking like Brendan Baker's stat line when he got his touchdown. And this is not a good situation for Oklahoma City. You have 3 timeouts, 35 seconds to make this thing be only a 1-score game. You're down by 14 now. And Memphis is sitting pretty. Just don't do anything stupid and you have this game won. Just got to make defensive stands against one of the better running back cores in the league. And with kickoffs like that, it is not looking good for Oklahoma. You're going into this home crowd. It's no wonder the analysts all picked Memphis. Tough situation Gilligan and company have to work with. Trying to thread that needle, double coverage there. Didn't throw it in time. Would have been better off trying to lead his receiver super deep. 2 tight ends set, Burrows and Scully. Both tight ends sitting on the left side. Matlock, miscommunication, spun the wrong way. Looking like some kind of back shoulder pass. On the bright side, the clock is not moving. On the downside, you have 23 seconds on a 3rd down. 9-yard run play will almost do it, but I think they're just going to let this one tick down to 0, given they're not calling any timeouts here. Clock has expired. Pinkerton could do something crazy here. Oh my goodness. Okay, no, he won't. He won't. Halftime, Memphis up 24-10. About to kick it back off to Oklahoma City. See if they can make this thing more interesting. That punt tackle was made by Matthew Vogt, by the way. So if you're an Oklahoma City Tornadoes fan, thank Matthew Vogt for not letting anything happen there. That was scary. Edwards, the kick return, this time past the 16-yard line. To the 18, losing the hidden yardage game. Matlock with the first handoff of the half. Gain of 2. And he will get banged up. Luckily, that says expected to return. Scary as that injury report pops up. DeMarquez Clark now taking over for the back that has 90 yards. No touchdowns to show for it. Unlike DeMarquez Clark breaking his first tackle, sprinting down the side of the field, gain of 25 on that handoff. And Garvin will get more than just one touch today. This is probably the most touches Garvin's gotten in his career. He was not a top 3 back on Virginia Beach. I don't think he's ever been a top 3 back here in Oklahoma City. Maybe top 3. Gaining 2 on the carry. Would not be surprised if we saw second-year back Robert Hudson, round 5 pick 98 in season 2. Same draft as DeMarquez Clark. Speaking of Clark, off the fingertips. Oh, you can't make drops like that on crucial plays. Lucky for them, it was just second down. Third down coming up. Gilligan dropping back, looking deep this time. Caught by Jamal Edwards. Huge gain, 26 yards in the chain gang. Will move just outside of the red zone. When asked in his interview by the media, owner Nick was asked, Oklahoma City is a team that is currently in the playoff hunt. In some respects, many might say these next 3 games are playoff caliber games. What has been the message to your team, and how have they responded throughout the week? His response was, Oklahoma City is a great team, and the entire team, especially the defense, knows that this is the return of former Liberty running back Kenny Matlock, who unfortunately is banged up right now. We are expecting him to be hungry for a revenge game back in his old home stadium. We have prepared to stop him. We're aware of their single back scheme, so we'll have to be ready to stop him. The main message is for the defense to step up like in the game against Albuquerque and make the necessary plays to lead us to a win. They've responded well all week, and we're up for the challenge. And so far, they've been very up to the challenge. These guys have dominated this game. Gilligan trying to chip away at the lead they are facing, and looks like they'll have to settle for a field goal. Make this game go down by 11. Rough situation, but you got to take the points. Gilligan not having a stellar game today. 9 for 18, 88 yards. A lot of drop passes from his receivers, to be fair. Mostly his running backs. That 39-yarder by Visconti is good, and Matlock returns a little too late. Wade returning from the 5-yard line. Stopped at roughly the 25-yard line. And Weathers and company will come out onto the field. Honestly, they should probably just... I was going to say they should just run it. Little screen pass in the backfield to Collins. Collins breaking a tackle. Gaining 9 on the play. It was almost a stop in the backfield, but Marquise Collins was not ready to go down. I formation, play action. Weathers sacked while he was trying to roll out. That was Westbrook on the stop. Sean Westbrook. Westbrook's 9th sack of the season. Almost picked off, and this offense is trying to give away this game. I don't understand the play calling decisions here by Nick and the offensive coordinator. Actually, I believe they just fired the offensive coordinator, so I think Nick's doing all the play calling now. Another penalty, sending them back even further. Not another penalty, but another, bump in the road for this Memphis Liberty offense. Getting sent back 5 yards. Cashman punting it off to Lisenby. And he will not go anywhere. Was that Banks on the stop? Who was that? That was 18, so that was Banks, yes. Single back formation, as Nick mentioned. Matlock getting the toss. Only gaining 2 on the play. Stopped by Kelly. Kelly's got to have upwards of 10 tackles today. Career game for Vince Kelly. Pistol formation this time. A younger cousin of the single back formation, and Matlock will gain yet another 2. No DeMarquez Clark on this drive. Not yet. Matlock, and I'm going to assume Matlock again. Just shy of 100 yards today for the stud running back. Hurdling a man to gain 3 more yards. And DeMarquez Clark gets told to come in for the punting unit as Paul Kaloje come onto the field. And the punt is out. Gonna bounce around the 10. Can they down it? No, they can't. It's the 20-yard line, touchback. Need to kick that just a little softer. Under center is Weathers, dropping back. No run play here. Little catch on the sideline by the tight end Moore. His first catch of the day, I want to say. I formation, fullback leading the block for Collins. He'll gain 3 yards on the play and tick the clock down a little further. Third down stop here would be huge for the Tornadoes, but they need to make up for it on the offense. Utilize both their running backs. Really use their weapons. Speaking of weapons, there is Torrey Wade for yet another miraculous catch. Big throw by Weathers, 38-yard gain. And not looking like it's going to be a punt. Torrey Wade, 179 yards. Goodness gracious, he might break an NAGA record. Collins trudging forward for a 5-yard gain. Lane in the backfield now. Weathers with pressure, almost throwing an interception. Close one there, and that would have just been tragic for the Liberty. Up by 11. Don't want to give Oklahoma City any scoring opportunities if you want to maintain this lead. Especially offensive mistakes like turnovers. 4th down and 2. Looks like they'll probably bring out Mr. Casey Bueller, the Topeka, Kansas native. Kick is up. It is good. By a good bit. 46-yarder, sending the Liberty back up by 14. And it's back to square one for the half for the Tornadoes. Not a lot of scoring this quarter. Both teams only putting up a field goal, but the quarter is still young. 3 minutes to go, and that doesn't count how many times this clock will stop. So and off to Matlock. Stopped in the backfield for a loss of 2. First stop by Moss today. Dante Moss, the Clemson graduate. I formation, pitch to Matlock. Matlock working through the gap. Popped, and Moss, yet again the man to make the play, will scoop it. And Memphis will take over with excellent field position. This game is not as close, or it's about to be not as close as we all were thinking. In Nick's interview, he was asked, is there anything about the Oklahoma City team that has impressed you? Any players or schemes that they run? He said, they're a very balanced team, but they have yet to score over 30 points. But they have only given up 30 points once to Albuquerque. Obviously, Matlock is a huge piece of their team, especially in the single back, but their defense has been doing fairly well for themselves, giving up only 22 points against per game. So it looks like his mission was run up the score. And they're about to do so. Touchdown, Ahmad Banks, the 4th receiver to get a touchdown for the Memphis Liberty. All 4 touchdowns. Jalen Weathers to his all-star receiver core. And Bueller, the man with 2 field goals, about to send through his 4th extra point. 34 points, second time as mentioned. Now, the second time Oklahoma City has let up over 30 points. Working with a major uphill battle, and that's not gonna help starting field position from the 15. Goodness gracious. And Gilligan just doing the best he can. Gonna drop back to pass this time after that Matlock fumble. Tayshaun Richardson gaining 7 on the play. Handoff out of shotgun to Matlock. Matlock really holding on to that ball like LaShawn McCoy with one hand. And he gets the first down. Matlock now over 100 yards from scrimmage. Impressive against his former team. Handoff up the middle again to Matlock. Gain of 2 on the play. Tackled by number 96, Charles Thurston. Thurston, also a journeyman. He was on the Columbus Senators for a while. He was on the Brooklyn Bandits, making his way now to the Memphis Liberty. And Gilligan will be brought down by the man I was just talking about, Charles Thurston, making a huge sack on second down, creating a 3rd and long situation. And of course, 5 wide receivers are coming out. Gilligan looking down the middle, caught. First down. Keeping the drive alive is Tayshaun Richardson. Most reliable wide receiver they have today. Gilligan dropping back once again. Little short pass to the slot receiver, Turner. Able to hold on to it this time. His last catch, I believe, was the one that he fumbled and the left tackle had to pick up. That will give us the end of the 3rd. Oklahoma City down by 21. Not impossible, but improbable. But anything can happen here in the NAGA. If this were NFL Red Zone, I would say this is the witching hour, but I cannot see this win become a loss or this loss become a win, though it is a valiant effort by the Tornadoes. Handoff to Matlock, who hurdles a man. Matlock in a little scrum there in the middle of the field. Brought down on the other side of the field at the 48. DeMarquez Clark back into the game. Handoff to Clark up the left side. Clark fumbles it. Burrows, the tight end, able to scoop it up. And these running backs and receivers just can't hold on to the ball. This heavy hitting defensive unit. Trayvon Webb, Dante Moss, Charles Thurston, Jorge Rivera. Khalil Brown, Jordan Mallory, Michael Wells, and Vince Kelly. All heavy hitting. Enough about them. Huge grab, 32-yard gain from Gilligan to Jamal Edwards. Wide receiver 1 for a reason. And Oklahoma City looking to add some sunshine to this dreary day. Matlock breaking a tackle. Sees the end zone. Touchdown. Kenny Matlock. 2 rushing touchdowns for the Tornadoes. And Matlock getting to score against his former team. A lot of cheers even from this home crowd for Matlock. It's like when Tom Brady faced the Patriots, or when Peyton Manning faced the Colts. You know, you face your former team, you're bound to get some people like you. You know, not everyone is Russell Wilson. When the Seahawks fans just booed him for no reason. You know, as players, you don't get to decide whether or not you get traded. You just get to decide when it's free agency and you don't renew your contract. Weathers dropping back. Screen pass to Collins. And he'll almost get a first down there. Gain of 9. Hand off to Collins up the middle. This time for a gain of 11. 20 yards on 2 plays. Collins is the only 1-2 combo you need. He is 1 and 2. Weathers deciding to take it alone in the backfield, motioning Lane out to the left, and he will take it alone. Scrambling against Weathers, he drops it. Moore able to scoop it back up, but that was dangerous for the Liberty, up by only 14 now. I mean, only 14 is a phrase you'll not hear me say a lot, but Weathers definitely needs to rely on his weapons. Another hit on Weathers by Ragsdale this time. Jordan Ragsdale, the defensive tackle, giving Memphis a 3rd and 10 situation. Finch, Wade, Banks, and Baker, your touchdown scorers, all lined up on both sides of the quarterback, but he hands it off to Collins, letting him shine once more, only gaining 4 or 5 on the play. And Oklahoma City will get the ball back. Lisenby stopped at the 20. Memphis is poised to win this game, still halfway through the 4th quarter. In his final question in his interview this week, he was asked about winning this game, staying 1 game ahead of Raleigh and Orlando should they lose. But if he loses, he could be tied with both of those teams. Holy moly, Jamal Edwards with the grab, 45-yard gain. Enough about winning, but if he loses, he could be tied for the lead of his division or be in 2nd. His response was that this training has been high caliber. It's a team that they cannot underestimate. And clearly after plays like that from Brandon Gilligan, now almost totaling 200 yards, you definitely cannot underestimate these guys, even with a 14-point lead. But he said he has made a lot of offensive changes, including the use of Weathers' legs, and that the Memphis Liberty are going to go all out in the final games and claim a 2nd straight playoff berth and hopefully a home game for the Memphis faithful. Let's see if they can hold on to this lead. Crucial game for both of these teams. Late in the game for the end zone. Touchdown, Jimmy Burrows. The tight end with the snag. And 6. Hitting pay dirt midway through the 4th quarter. And the extra point from Joey Visconti. Go. is good. It is a 7-point game. This next offensive drive from the Liberty could be make or break. One thing that I even do in my recording booth here, I've done it in a game with Tucson and Albuquerque, I believe that was, where, you know, you underestimate the team that's losing. And, you know, it is never the case. The game is never over till it's over. You know, as Kobe Bryant once said, job not finished. You know, nothing to be happy about at halftime. Nothing to be happy about with 5 minutes and 26 seconds left on the fourth quarter clock. Job not finished. And I am definitely a perpetrator against that mindset. I tend to rule out the losing team. Although it is far more exciting when games are close like this. Weathers on second down in shotgun formation. He will take it. Hold on to the ball, buddy. Gain of 3. 3rd and 1 now. I formation for the Memphis Liberty on 3rd and 1. All they got to do is cram this up the middle, but they'll subvert expectations. Deep bomb incomplete to Torrey Wade, but the perpetrator was the defense. Tyrus Lane, offsides, free play, first down. And a whole new set of downs to just run the clock down is just gift wrapped for the Memphis Liberty. Weathers handing off to Marquise Collins. Collins weaving through traffic, gaining 6 on the play. Weathers handing it off to Collins. He's once again broken up in the backfield, gaining 4 and getting the first down. I mean, we have the 10th best rushing offense versus the 12th best rushing defense. Both middle of the pack, should be an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Both of these teams are very stoppable, very movable. 34 points on each side. High caliber offenses with, you know, mid-tier defenses. Although Oklahoma City, believe it or not, despite today's performance, they are the 2nd worst offense in the league based off of yardage. Granted, they have 135 points for. They just have really good defensive games. With as many studs as they have, it is a shocker they do not put up this many points every week. I think, what did Nick said that they have yet to put up over 30 points. But they don't let up over 30 points. And today is the antithesis of both of those statements. 34-27. 3rd and 12. Oklahoma City putting themselves into a position, given they don't commit a penalty, to take this ball back. Hail Mary play into the cluster of defensive backs and wide receivers. And with just over 3 minutes to go, Oklahoma City is about to get this ball back. Cashman got to make this one a good one, and it will be inside the 20. Much better than a touchback. Doesn't matter, you know, where it is. Ahmad Banks getting hurt as he was a gunner on the play. Expected to return. Nobody making any, you know, sustaining any huge injuries today. Gilligan and company. Gilligan alone under center. Dropping back. Plenty of time. Wide open man is Jimmy Burrows. Man with a touchdown on the previous drive, gaining 15 yards and stepping out to stop the clock. No burning up any timeouts. The objective would be to tie the game with all 3 timeouts still left. Gilligan, from what looked like a subpar passing stat line, now looking like he's a stud. Oh my goodness, busted coverage. Knight, 20-yard reception. Gilligan finding DeAndre Knight, the former Gator, and former Orlando Flame. That's the Flame I was talking about. As these guys now have a fire lit under them. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left towards the sideline. Burrows, another first down. Oh, sorry, 2nd and inches, but 3 plays over 10 yards gained each. And the 2-minute warning is upon us. Need to catch my breath. The Oklahoma City Tornadoes are just outside of midfield. Sorry, just past midfield. Liam Scully, the 2nd-string tight end, pulling in that interception. Not interception, that reception. Forgive me. Yes, Liam Scully was a rookie in this draft. Sorry, rookie in last year's draft. He's a 2nd-year tight end. Round 4, pick 75 from Oklahoma City. Making a big play there. Speaking of big plays, Gilligan sacked by Chandler. Put on his back, 2nd and super long now. James Chandler, the veteran, with his first sack of the day. Minute 30 to go. Nobody calling any timeouts. Saving them to see what happens on these next few plays. In traffic is Matlock, and he gets the first. Gain of 20. Hurry up offense is expected, but there is none. The Tornadoes are showing a lot of confidence in their offense. Almost 300 yards passing for Gilligan now, with about a 70% completion rate. Gilligan to the right sideline, swatted down by the defender, and the clock will stop. You know, if you're Oklahoma City, you don't want to give Memphis any time, but you want to give yourself enough time to score. No handoff so far this drive, and it will continue to be that way. Dot to Turner. He hangs on to it as he gets slung down to the ground. Is slung a word? Or am I thinking swung? Is it slinged? Doesn't matter. What matters is that it is 35 seconds left to go, and the Tornadoes are in scoring position inside the 10-yard line. Gilligan to the end zone. Incomplete. Clock has stopped once again. Jamal Edwards could not bring it in. 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown. Let's see what kind of touchdown we'll get here today, if any. Gilligan caught by Matthew Vogt. Gain of 2, which is not enough to get into the end zone. OKC calling a timeout to stop the clock around 20 seconds. It is do or die. You cannot leave here without a touchdown. You have 2 plays to do it. What will they cook up here? Gilligan to the left, wide open is Turner. Turner, touchdown, toe tapper, Santonio Holmes style. And barring a missed extra point, this game is all tied up. Bingo. 3 timeouts though with 18 seconds. That might be too much. I think there was a Falcons-Lions game where Todd Gurley scored a touchdown a little too early, and the Lions were able to drive and score. Wade fielding it from the 5, going up to the left, little stutter step. Too many stutters in his step. 22 seconds to go. Sorry, not 22 seconds to go. 14 seconds to go from the 22-yard line. I am all out of sorts here, getting too excited alongside you guys. I'm imagining we're all vibing off of each other's energy. It's all kind of snowballing into one big explosion of energy right now. Collins with a handoff, breaking multiple tackles. What are they thinking? Memphis timeout. Westbrook getting banged up. Definitely going to affect the pass rush. I formation. Make it single back. End of regulation. Memphis deciding we're okay with overtime, 34-34. Quick overview of the overtime rules on the screen. And Memphis will be first to field it. Just like the NFL and, you know, most other professional leagues, in overtime, if you get a field goal and you possess it first, the other team has a chance to respond. If you get a touchdown, the other team does not have a chance to respond. And then, of course, if you do nothing on your first drive, it doesn't matter. Whoever scores next wins. So the only thing that happens is that if you get a field goal only, if you are the first team to possess it, overtime is not over. Otherwise, whoever scores is victorious. Weathers, 15 for 25, 271 yards and 4 touchdowns. Looking to have the most touchdowns in the league after this week. Collins stiff-arming a man after already a sizable gain, gaining 18 yards just outside of midfield now. Weathers dropping back, screen pass to Lane, and Lane, unlike Collins, cannot get out of that situation. Darian Tompkins on the stop, getting subbed out for Jamare Tinsley. Great catch by Ahmad Banks. The gunslinger that Weathers has become throughout his time for the Memphis Liberty is showing in situations like this. Almost 300 yards for Weathers on fewer attempts than Brandon Gilligan. Weathers with plenty of time, under pressure, pocket closing, intended for the tight end. Incomplete. I formation becoming single back formation as Austin is motioned out to the left. 3 tight end set effectively. Collins, easy first down. And they are now in field goal position. So, you know, nothing to stress about for the Memphis Liberty. It will be a shame for Oklahoma City to come all this way from that 21-point deficit just to lose. But I'm sure that's what Memphis is trying to seal up here. You know, they're like, we gave you a little bit of hope. We made this an enjoyable game to watch, but we are not letting you win. Deontay Battle coming up with a huge stop. No gain for Marquise Collins, almost 200 yards from scrimmage. Lane with the handoff now. Immediate first down once Lane got the ball. But Battle has to come back in. Rockwell didn't do quite as good of a job. And this time Weathers will take it for himself, and he will almost get a touchdown. That was crazy. I was out of my seat. I was more than on the edge. I was standing. Ice in his veins. Jalen Weathers. Taking it for himself again, and he'll run it in for the touchdown. Weathers takes the victory for the Liberty in overtime. All 5 touchdowns courtesy of Jalen Weathers. Wow. Look at those stat lines. These guys did incredible jobs today. Neither team did bad. Over 30 points on each side, 40-34 to close out. Right now, it's probably already Richmond at Columbus. If you haven't already tuned in, go ahead and go over there. Pasta is commentating that one later today. Raleigh takes on Wichita in Wichita. And Sacramento finishes off the week against Austin in a co-commentated game. That's right, 3 commentated games in one day. Y'all are pretty lucky today. Anyway, let me go through the stats here. Player of the game is definitely Jalen Weathers, undisputed. Roughly equal amount of plays, almost 500 yards of scrimmage for both teams. 1 turnover being a fumble for Oklahoma City. 2 sacks each. Over 150 yards rushing for each team. Only rushing touchdowns came from OKC. Kelly and Pinkerton, the studs for the Liberty. Here's some individual player stats. If you enjoyed this game, please subscribe. Join the Discord if you feel so inclined. Otherwise, you know, just keep watching. Feel free to watch. You don't want us on your subscriber list? It's whatever, man. But this is some intense football, insane football. A lot of great football coming up today for us, and of course in other leagues I know you guys pay attention to. It'd be, you know, obtuse of me to not acknowledge the fact that some playoffs are going on right now in the NFL. Exciting games yesterday. Bound to be some exciting games today. But for now, that is the end of my broadcast. My name is Reed Option. Here at the NAGA, we will always see you next time.